So far we've seen AppStack, Couple Street, Gonna Be, Captricity, Niche, and Fantasy Politics in our first segment. So of those, AppStack, Couple Street, Gonna Be, Captricity, Snapchat/Niche, and Fantasy Politics, which one was your absolute favorite? Tony Conrad.
Oh.
Couple Street was? Okay. No. Which one was your favorite? Anybody else have their absolute favorite? Yes, Matt.
Absolute favorite, and I would love to invest in it right this second, is Captricity.
Captricity, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll book that investment. Okay, there's 50,000. Sky, 50's okay?
I mean, the Captricity is such a no-brainer, but I feel like that's a cop-out because it's too obvious.
As your number one.
Sky
Yeah,
doesn't
my
like to make
number one.
money.
No. I mean, I want to see the rest and really think about it. I mean, to me, like
But of this first group, which one was your
a
favorite
big
so far?
filter is, you know, do something really profound. Like, who's solving a huge, huge problem? Clearly, Captricity is doing that. So
yeah, okay.
That's the
Fair
easy
enough.
answer.
Brad?
I wanted to ask the crowd, though, up to versus Gonna Be.
Okay, which one did you like better? How many people liked, who went first? Was Gonna Be
Gonna
went
Be
first.
went first.
Gonna Be
Who
one
liked Gonna Be best? And who liked Up To best?
But they're really different. I
Okay,
mean,
Gonna Be and Up To.
it's not
Okay, it's the
either
exact
or.
same.
They're really different. I mean, Gonna Be is really an invitation system.
Right.
To get people to do stuff together, and Up To is really a mashup of all your calendars and everything that's
Future
happening.
calendaring, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one's sort of a feature of the other.
And it will
won't say
be
which.
interesting to see who becomes whose feature.
I can't say Captricity, so I liked AppStack.
Yeah, I was with that.
I think there's a real business there. There's a real need. I think they've got some stuff that they'll have to work out on customer acquisition, but the product looked really good. If it really works that easily for lots of different things other than just hair salons, there's a huge need there. So
Cyan, which one?
Captricity is my first pick. AppStack would be my second pick.
Great, very well done products.
I'd be AppStack first, and you know there are companies, you know Zillow, which I was an investor in. They're acquiring their customers the exact same way that AppStack is.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
Brad, you happen to have put up a $100,000 prize, so
Yeah.
that might be AppStack, might be your choice at this point. And Cyan, maybe AppStack is your choice at this point, or Captricity. We'll see.
But I like both of them.
So you could do both. That's fine. We don't mind you doubling down. Okay, and Shervin, your favorite was?
I think if AppStack can turn that spigot on in terms of automating the process of getting to the customers and showing them their app, then that would be my number one choice, because I think that could launch it.
We seem to have, your second?
Yeah, my second is Captricity. I think
Great.
that's
awesome.
Very meaningful.
And there seemed to be a little debate going on there. Brad, you seem to think, hey, great to have 200 or 300 salespeople there calling. That's defensible. These folks know how to do call center. And then other folks like Tony and Shervin pushing really hard, like, why isn't this an automated onboarding? And why are salespeople involved in the process? Or maybe there's some better way to get the funnel going. What do you guys think that disjoint is?
Both of those things work right now. There are companies that have humongous sales forces that are phenomenally profitable and are doing it, as I think Shervin called it, the 19th century way. And then there's obviously companies, doing it differently.
But what should this company do then?
I love companies with inside sales expertise and models.
Yeah.
There's nothing dirty about that. There's nothing, to me, 19th century at all.
Well,
Understanding,
that way.
that's what I, with the AppStack was trying to get to, was how do you build the front end of the funnel? Because you need guys or gals making, 100 calls to be able to close 4 deals. And, it's all about the numbers in the front end of the stack.
Yeah, so I would just the alternative I would say is I'm not disagreeing with inside sales, but at that price point at $20 a month, you can't do inside sales.
At $20 a month.
Instead, the math doesn't work.
So what should you do?
Well, you
what's
either
the
have
funnel?
to charge more so that you can support an inside sales model, or you've got to do self-serve so people just sign up at $20 a month. But you can't.
Well, why-
$20 a month doesn't work for
You
inside
have to
sales.
Increase the price up, or
The price seemed
upwards.
pretty cheap. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't they charge?
Right, so maybe the answer
at
that's
$2
what I'm saying,
a
they
customer,
just-
why
they
not make
gotta
it $3 a
sort
customer?
Through the two things,
Yeah.
but again, those are like things they're really early. Like you sort through those. I don't think it's a reason not to like the company. I just think
I
it's
think they're going to solve
they'll
the problem.
figure those things out.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, right? Their average revenue.
If they figure that out.
Their average revenue is more like $60 a month. I mean, including the advertising that's running through them. So
But their gross margin's 20.
Right, but there's more in
But
the
they could easily
ecosystem.
charge 50% on top
They
of
have a
what
lot of
Google's
price
charging.
elasticity.
Yeah.
They could
I
charge a
think,
lot more than $20.
The other important thing is, it's all about teams. And John's last business built one of the most successful inside sales forces, out there. So of the guys who can probably pull this off, that mitigates the risk significantly.
And I wasn't saying you shouldn't do inside sales. It just,
It was disjointed in the presentation because you're going, how did you do inside sales with such a low margin? And that was where the disconnect happened, I think, for a lot of the panel. Okay, great. Let's keep moving. Here's a 2.0 Alohar Mobile. Welcome to the stage. Such a courteous group, boys. Applauding.
Imagine for a moment an elderly person, perhaps a family member. All of a sudden, he suffers a heart attack and he needs an ambulance very quickly because every minute counts. Luckily, he has this emergency beacon app. Think of it as your personal OnStar. Let us show you how it works. With just 2 button taps, he's able to summon an ambulance instantly. He just sent an emergency beacon to a nearby ambulance with his exact location. He didn't have to manually check in at all because our app kept his current location up to date, persistently in the background. The app also provides important updates, such as the ETA of the paramedics, as well as the location of the ambulance, which you see in the upper right corner. Now let's go to the view inside of the ambulance, where our platform provides a dashboard for the paramedics. This dashboard includes a map with the patient's exact address. The exact address is extremely important because 40% of mobile 911 calls lack location accuracy. That's over 175,000 calls a day where the paramedics do not have an exact fix on your location. Now let's go back to the app to see how the patient is doing. The ambulance is just 1 minute away. The ambulance has just arrived. Great. Another persistent feature of our app is a places diary that remembers your places automatically. This is really helpful for patients of Alzheimer's and their families. Imagine it's Thanksgiving weekend and your grandfather, who has Alzheimer's, has just wandered off. Luckily, you have access to this family dashboard, which shows your grandfather's current location. Plus, it provides a history of his recent place visits, just in case he lost something on Black Friday and you have to retrace his steps. And your grandfather did not have to manually check into any of these places. We call this technology persistent sensing. Let me give you one more example. Imagine a teenager who just got his driver's license. Now also imagine that the teenager is involved in a very serious car crash. If the teenager is unconscious, our app can still summon an ambulance automatically without any button presses at all. Sam's going to simulate a high-speed auto crash onto the stage. He's got a phone inside a Nerf ball.
Oh, you have to throw it really hard.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
That wasn't supposed to happen. But let me direct your attention to the screen. This is the dashboard inside the ambulance.
That was Angry Birds right there.
It worked. That was a live transmission from the phone. Even though the phone was destroyed, it sent a message to the ambulance with the exact address of the injured teenager. You might be asking now, how does all this technology work? Well, we've developed a bunch of algorithms that monitor various sensors on your smartphone, and we analyze those sensor signals to determine various events, such as place visits, as well as a car crash. We just demonstrated 3 emergency scenarios using our mobile behavior analytics platform. However, our technology is not just for emergencies. It's available for all kinds of apps. Everything from smart personal assistants to mobile apps for health, shopping, games, and even dating. So if you want to build a persistent sensing app, we've got an API and an SDK available for you. If you go to Alohar.com, we'll also have a showcase app called Place Me, which is the one on the far right. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Okay. So, panel, what did you think? Aloha.
When you were doing the ambulance one, I couldn't help but think of Uber. It was like Uber ambulance.
In rehearsals, we said Uber for ambulances.
Yeah, that's exact. So I think you have a set of apps that are really cool and very useful, and you can build a business on that. I'm not. I think the most successful idea, the most potential I see is I could see parents getting the whole kind of OnStar emergency thing for their families in droves, and so I would urge you to focus on the one thing you think could be a massive hit for you and save these for later. I think the building for other apps and games and things like that, I would just drop that. But the emergency thing, I mean, I could see millions of people, downloading that app and getting their kids to use it and having it be persistent. I call it ambient, kind of ambient platforms, but you're calling it persistent.
We sort of call it ambient search, or persistent sensing and ambient search. Whenever we see something that you may need, we may send you, recommendations or reminders.
Teens, kids as young as 12, 11 have mobile phones now, and parents would want to track where they are as well. So I think you've got something there, and I would just urge you to focus on that
and that's very acute, right? That problem for parents, it's a very acute problem, and there's already guys in the space. I mean, there's one company that's got over 1 million. Members that are paying them real money every single month, and so that's a proven market. To Shervin's point around that. One question I had about just in the demo is that you were kind of going back and forth, and part of the demo was the visualization was very. I totally love it. I love what you guys are doing, but there was this element of it that was very unelegant in terms of design. And then you were going back and forth to some other stuff. Was parts of that you had designed, parts you hadn't? I wasn't quite clear about that.
I was going back and forth between the cell phone's image, which is connected to the laptop, and a dashboard, a web dashboard.
Okay.
So the web dashboard,
Got it.
it's a web page.
And
this is a live demo, by the way. It's not canned.
To be clear, you guys are providing an API and an engine. You're not currently providing end user products. You want to be a platform.
Right. We want to build this platform. We offer it as a SDK so that the Android app developers, iPhone app developers can use it to build their own apps.
And what makes you guys uniquely qualified to do this? Have you done something in previously with Maps?
Yes, Sam was the platform architect of Google's location server platform. That's the platform that puts the blue dot in tens of thousands of mobile apps, including iPhone's default map.
So what you heard from some of the panel was they might think it's cool that you built the platform, but maybe specific apps are what the world needs, maybe not the platform. But more questions from the panel?
Does the app have to be running to do that?
Once you install
in memory?
Once you install it, it runs in the background passively.
So if you reboot the phone, will the app?
Yeah, auto restart.
It'll auto restart.
Yeah, you can just forget about it, and only when you need to, look for something, you can open it, and then you can.
And obviously, you're using accelerometer type data, and what sensors are you looking at?
We look at a location sensor, motion sensor, compass, Wi-Fi. We also plan to use even the brightness and proximity and everything on the phone that's available. We want to monitor them passively, and we have a set of algorithms that analyze all these sensors and try to infer, are you walking, are you jogging, are you driving, the motion
and
pattern.
That goes beyond what's available through the stack from Android or from iOS.
Yeah. I worked at Google for 4 years, and I know this is not available.
And how do you charge that? So if I'm a developer, I want to create an app, I want to use this SDK, use the API, what do I pay?
So we're a platform company, and so we're offering our API for free to developers up to a certain rate limit. If you go above that rate limit, then we'll have a conversation about what fees might be appropriate.
Well, I don't want to get on your platform and not know what I'm going to pay. So, what is it going to be if I have a hugely successful app?
Well, we should talk offline about your app.
I would advise you probably want to put that out there, because for people to develop on this, do it seriously, they're going to want to know.
Yeah, when you have, for example, only 1,000 users and your app is free and our API is totally free.
No, I get that, but if you want to have 10 million users.
Yeah, if we have 10 million users, you charge $1 each, then we want to get a slice of that.
It's cool. I would urge you to figure that out and put it up there. It could be anything, just get it up there.
Sound advice from a solid entrepreneur. Transparency and, declared pricing is a good idea when you're trying to build partnerships. Any other feedback?
I think the ambulance business is actually a hard business given, I have a competing investment in that space, and the hard part is you don't know that you really need something like that until you do. So like when you've lost your iPhone, it becomes the most valuable app on your phone. When you need an ambulance, it's the most valuable app on your phone. It's not viral. Like you don't tell your friends about it. It's a hard thing to sell. So I actually think that doing the API approach is probably more beneficial.
Well, for the ambulance app...
I would let someone focus on that.
For the ambulance app, we're actually partnered with an app that's already out there in the emergency information space. They're the #1 most downloaded app in that particular category. And they've chosen our system to power their location service.
That's great.
Well, great. I guess, sorry, one last question. Just, it seems like, I think this is huge for gaming, because this is like solving a big problem for sort of real life location gaming. And you guys listed that. The other one I didn't see you list there, which I think there are people doing this stuff, but it's hard to do, is traffic, right? I mean, you should be able to sort of do traffic patterns at a very high scale very quickly if you could get people, so you could get people to sort of download the game, and then you've got a lot of traffic data.
Yeah, right, totally. Actually, Actually, during the demo pit, actually there are already 5 or 6 startups coming to us. One guy, I think they do in a real world Monopoly game. When you walk into Best Buy, maybe you want to buy that property. Our system can detect that entrance in real time.
Right. Just you guys might decide that you get a lot of the disguised question. Maybe you just let people use it for free for their apps, and then the data you have is incredible traffic and mapping data that you could then build a business off of too. So you got a lot of different options there to build the business.
Yeah, for dating, we know what you like, what kind of food you like. Do you like play tennis, golf? Then we can do a double blind matching.
Let's hear it for Alohar Mobile. Well done, guys.